Mirwan, thank you so much for joining us on
pleasure.
stage here at the SportsPro Investment Summit. Obviously, Como 1907 been on quite a journey since 2019 when being taken over by the Hartono brothers. It seems like quite a strange question to start with, given that Como is obviously one of the most glamorous, luxurious Italian tourist destinations. But what was it that kind of, drew the ownership, drew you to the club in particular? Because I guess at that time it was a distressed asset.
Yes, correct.
So what was what was the appeal?
The appeal. I can tell you the truth, or I can tell you a very nice version of it. Which one would you like?
Maybe give us a bit of both. Can you blend them?
Sure,
them together?
Of course. I mean, obviously, recognizing the opportunity of such a beautiful location and such a distressed asset, it was a no-brainer to actually go in there and take it. Mm-hmm. Okay, now you want the truth?
Yeah,
the truth was we were trying to buy something cheap to put an Indonesian football team to play there and make it into a TV program. But unfortunately, Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup, and after 3 months of owning the team got promoted. So no players from the non-EU were allowed to play, so we actually have to turn that into a business.
Mm-hmm. Yes, since that takeover, the club's surged up the divisions back in Serie A now. There's obviously certain things that have had to go right on the pitch for that to happen,
right.
But I think in modern football it's increasingly apparent that things have to be aligned off the pitch from a business perspective, commercially, for that to then translate to the on-pitch success. What are kind of some of the key things that have driven that transformation?
You need a bit of both, which is one, the football knowledge, which is the traditional football knowledge, and we had very experienced people at the helm. I think Dennis Wise, the former Chelsea player, helped us get promoted from the third division to the second division, laid the foundation of football thinking. But then we also added modern business accountability in the sense of everything is data-driven, metrics-driven, I think, as they call it, the Moneyball approach. But for us, we were very fortunate to actually have Billy Bean himself, who helped us set up that model, give us the platform for the foundation of that thinking, to then allow our owners to understand and be able to follow why we invest on a player, why we invest on, or how much we spend on a particular player. What does it mean for us today? What does it could mean for us in the future? So having that accountability helps a lot. And it was also the wisdom of the owners to say, it would be very, very difficult to grow as a business if we remain in the second division. So they said, once you're in the business, might as well push it to get to the Serie A, and that's where you can actually push the business as wide as possible. And now we're entering our second year in Serie A. They could not be more right. Opportunities opened much faster, much bigger. International growth exceeded more than our expectations. And now into our second year, I think we're experiencing accelerated growth more than ever.
Yeah, sure. And it's interesting as well, because football clubs traditionally have had three revenue streams. You've had the match day income, sponsorship, and then the share you get from the media rights from the league. Slightly different at Como, it seems. Can you talk us a little bit about the business model that you're implementing there?
The most important part for us, the fastest one that's actually grew, was the merchandising side, the retail. Merchandising pertains to only maybe the football club items, but we realized that they would be linked to the club's performance up and down. It would be a bit too risky. So having an asset or a brand like Como, we realized that, we are not a football club that's building a brand. We are actually a brand that happens to have a football club. So we then quickly associate ourselves with Lago di Como itself as our main master brand, so to speak, and then the football club sits beneath. And when we do that, yes, our retail revenue then has been growing incredibly well, and that sets us apart from to begin with. And then after that, we start to identify what other businesses that is linked to that master brand, which is the Lake Como. So the Lake Como beer, that we call La Comasca, was a natural progression of that. Transportation, where Uber does not exist in the area where you have 4.8 million tourists, was a natural progression of that. And then hospitality, such as restaurants, or what we're about to create and launch soon is members club program is a natural progression of that. You have all these people already coming there. They were looking for the product. It didn't exist, and we just provide it. So, yes, our goal is for our non-football revenue to exceed that of the football one.
Okay.
Obviously, as we grow, it becomes more difficult because the football revenue is also growing. As you know, last year I was lucky if I have an offer for €2 million for one player. This year we had to reject 2 offers for 44 million and 50 million pounds. Can our revenue, non-football revenue, catch up against that? Well, hopefully, but not soon. But if we don't sell any players now, yes, it can catch up very, very quickly.
Yeah, and just to talk about the fan base a little bit as well, because obviously very unique in that I think it's 40% of your ticket revenue comes from international visitors, I think I'm right in saying. Obviously, a lot of football clubs will rely on the people who are coming week in, week out, I guess the season ticket holders. I'm sure there are a lot of repeat visitors to Como, but I imagine a lot of them are first-time visitors. How do you reconcile that?
The beauty about Europe is travel within countries is easy, right? And also Switzerland is just across the border from us. It's 25 minutes. So we do have a lot of fans from Switzerland as well who are season ticket purchasers. And I do believe we have the Como Tartan Army from Scotland. I think they're 3,000 strong that supports us. So somehow we've built this unique relationship with international fans, and thanks to the proximity of countries in Europe, it makes it possible. In the future, to make things even more accessible, we are launching our own, what we call flexi tickets, where you can choose to buy 3, 6, 9, 12 tickets without actually identifying the game that you want to go to. Only when you know you can go on that particular date, then you can issue the tickets. These are some of the innovations that we are trying to push in the coming season.
Like you've gone from, when the club was taken over, competing as kind of this sort of amateur club, and now playing at San Siro, Stadio Olimpico, venues like that. What's been the kind of biggest challenge of making that leap back up to the top flight?
Well, the obvious is let's start with the obvious. It was the quality of on-the-field talent. What's required was much higher than our expectation. It was such a big gap that we had to change 22 players to compete at that level. And I think we learned, as we are a data-driven club. In the second window in January, it shows when we brought in maybe 5, 6 new players. It completed the squad that we tried to build in the early summer, and allows us to compete and push to that 10th place, to secure that 10th position, where I think the club went on to a 6-match winning streak, which is uncommon apparently in Italy. Or maybe everywhere, anyway, I don't know. Uncommon if you're not Bayern Munich or Barcelona. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there was the hardest challenge. Secondly, the infrastructure for the commercial itself. Now, you're talking about merchandising. The easiest thing to do is give it to a fanatics, let them take over, right? But we realize if we do that, we will never learn anything about the business. So we set up creating our own logistics, how do you call it? Chain, Yeah. We started from, now we have our own warehouse. We have our 4 shops within the Como area, and we have 485 affiliate shops within the Como province that distributes Como products. So, and then we started doing the e-commerce ourselves. Even into the international marketing for the e-commerce, we did everything ourselves. And we've learned a lot. We've managed to grow from when I first arrived, it was the merchandising revenue, I think it was 53,000 to now crossing 10 million. So it's a lot growth, but also a lot of people coming in, a lot of trial and error, a lot of mistakes. And I think we will make new mistakes as we try to grow further and further.
The strategy from your perspective, you'd rather in-house across all of those things rather than kind of, work with a partner and license it out?
Yeah, because we have global aspirations. If we hand over the key to our business to someone else, it accelerates growth, but it will not allow us to grow further. But now, with this current approach, we are now at a point where, with a root partnership, with our own logistics set up now, we're able to actually handle both B2B and D2C. And we're at that point where we can now offer our services to other football clubs to then, we'll do this with you. So, for example, Al Ula in Saudi is one club that we're hoping to be able to create a commercial project together and launch their own high-end fashion brand, sports brand, whatever that we will end up with, that can serve a global market together. And if it works with them, we can offer it to other clubs and so on and so on.
Sure. And when I guess when you're making all of these investments and growing so fast, sometimes it takes a while for sort of the revenue side of things to catch up. So what sort of does that look like at the moment in terms of, where are you on that path towards profitability, I suppose?
We're growing value. So obviously from on-the-field assets is very easy. Our on-the-field assets is already higher than how much the investment that we've put in. That's to start with. But also the revenue that we've created or we generate on the merchandising or in the retail sector, the commercial side of things, have grown incredibly from, I think it started when we were in Serie B, probably we make 3-4 million at max, with ticketing maybe 7, to today crossing 100. So, it's grown tremendously that for our owners who are using private funds for everything, they need to see that there is growth potential. We're not just, the arc is not going this way, it's going that way. How long it would take, it depends on their appetite to keep putting money in, or as long as the money going in is not like that either, it's starting to level down, which we are, I think they're satisfied.
Yeah, and just my last question before I let you go. What's kind of the long-term vision here? Could we expect to see Como competing for the Serie A title before long?
We don't have sporting ambition.
Okay.
We have business ambition, and our goal is to become a $1 billion in this group, so to speak, within 2038. So that's our goal.
Okay.
What is required to achieve that goal may include success on the field as well, but how much success? Could it be a team that's very exciting to watch, a team that generates the highest social media views because of the exciting plays they have on the field? Hopefully so we don't have to buy too much players to go into winning leagues or having to compete to get into the Champions League. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're a $1 billion business with a couple of Serie A titles to your name, you wouldn't be complaining too much.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be, definitely. Yeah. But it has to be. It has to be a consistent growth of all the business pillars that we have. It cannot be just focused just on the football team. It's too risky.
Sure. No, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you.